Hi guys, welcome back to Tigre Gitana. My name is Abby and today we are going to be talking about healing through the retrograde and retrogrades, plural, because we have a lot of them right now. So the reason why I wanted to make this video is because everybody keeps messaging me about tips and like advice and all of the things regarding what's going on planetary level. So I did make a retrograde video. If you want to, you can check that out if you want just more in-depth information, but I'm gonna focus on healing specifically through the retrograde, because while I was kind of meditating on how to answer, what came to me was, think of the retrograde as a fly. A fly that's just kind of like buzzing in your face, and then you have like multiple flies that just start coming at you and just coming into your face and into your space, and you're just like, why are these flies on me? And when it relates to food, usually when there are flies around, what does that mean? That something is rotten, that something is decomposing, that something is like quote unquote garbage to some people. Obviously it's part of nature, it's just the way nature recycles itself, really. But that's really the way you need to look at these retrogrades, going like just trying to work with them specifically. The retrogrades are like flies. Some flies are nicer than others because not all retrogrades are actually bad, if you look at the information. However, healing is not easy for everybody to do, and a lot of people struggle with it, and they see healing and healing opportunities as like, oh my god, their life is like a hot mess and they're like all over the place, and oh my god. But in reality, those flies are like, hey, there's some stuff that's rotten around you that you need to address. Like, you need to take out your own trash. And so that's really the way that it should be getting looked at. If the retrogrades are turning your life kind of upside down, then you need to go back in, see why there's so many flies around you, and address what is rotten and clean out your own trash. Energetically speaking, spiritually speaking, physically speaking, take out your trash. That's really the best way that I can put it. The best way for you to heal through the retrograde is to take out your own trash. Neptune in Pisces in retrograde allows you really to focus, and I talked about this in the retrograde video, so if you want more information on it, make sure you watch that video. But we talked about how when it is retrograde, it allows you to see clearly. Like, illusions are not a problem, so you're able to see clearly. So all these flies that you've been carrying with you, you can see them now. That's why they're bothering you, because you can see them, you can feel it. I mean, you knew something was there the whole time, but you were kind of just going with it, and now it's too late to apologize, and you kind of at that point where you're like, all these flies in my face, because you need to address it. You need to take out your own garbage. It's part of your healing work. Healing is not easy. It is never easy. Don't listen to anybody who tries to sell you healing as an easy process. It is not a pill that you can take and just be at one with yourself. Healing, for the most part, takes a lot of discipline. It takes courage to do so as well, and it takes consistency. It is very, very important for you to, throughout these retrogrades, see what those flies are pointing you to, address your garbage, and then be consistent into healing that space of your body, of your spirit, whatever it is that's coming up for you. Do that work, so then you can have a smoother time. When you're already actively addressing the flies and you understand why the flies are there, and you're not getting frustrated by the flies being there annoyingly and all these things, then you can see the flies as just little like points on a map. Like if you had like the map of your life pointed up on the wall, and you had these little markers that are just like the light is on them, and you're just like, okay, I'm gonna address this, I'm gonna go here and there, and then you have a guideline of what you need to address. It's like if you are coming to yourself and saying, okay, these are the issues, how are we gonna solve them? It's really that simple. So when it comes to the retrogrades, don't trip, don't go crazy. Mercury retrograde will only be bad if you allow it to be bad. It's not like a super negative thing. like at all. At all. It's literally areas of healing, healing of the mind, healing of past thoughts. This is why the exes show up, healing of just really things that are not meant for you. This is why you're not supposed to be signing stuff during Mercury retrograde, because you're supposed to be focusing on past stuff. However, if there is some sort of past idea, past project that you kind of put in the gutter, and you knew it was a good idea, but you kind of let it, you know, sit in the back burner, and you didn't kind of want to do anything about it, or you basically let it die in a way. If it comes back during Mercury retrograde, you do need to address that as well, in a forward moving motion, because things don't come up in Mercury retrograde for it to just, you know, kick up dirt or stuff like that. It's not about that. It's like, hey, bringing this up to your attention, this was a good idea. You kind of just brushed past it because the way society is set up, you just kind of kept going to work and not doing the thing that you knew that was actually a good idea. Hey, you know, that book that you've been trying to write, hello, you were getting downloads about different, like, characters, different areas, different things that you should say, whatever. Hey, you should need to address this. That's a good thing to work on during Mercury retrograde, because you're gonna have things that are gonna come up to you and be like, hey, hi, I'm a fly, I'm trying to bring this to your attention. don't let your own great ideas rot either. That's not good, because then you're like a vessel of this, all this great knowledge and great, like, access to all of these ideas, and then you're just, like, kind of swatting them away. And that's, in a way, swatting your abundance away, because you never know what that could lead to. Not necessarily in the physical realm, but at the same time, when you fulfill an idea, when you live out an idea that's come to you, one that came out of nowhere, whatever the case may be, especially for those with heavy mercurial placements, when you follow through with an idea, and you see how that developed, you're gonna have, the abundance could be in someone understanding you. It could be in other people getting that message that they needed, but they couldn't receive it or couldn't understand it from anybody other than the way you explained it. There's, like, so many ways to explain how and why we should follow through with our ideas, but Mercury retrograde allows you to look back and kind of, if these ideas are like, hey, just nod on your head, your subconscious is like, hey, you know, by the way, that thing that you thought about like a couple months ago, should probably, you know, just check it out or whatever. That's stuff that you should be working on. Don't be afraid of retrogrades. Retrogrades are cool. They're fine. Don't worry about it. It's just a lot of self-work and self-healing. A lot of people who are kind of like either fresh on spirituality or just don't understand the concept of, it's not always love and light. It is a lot of healing work. It is not always straight cruising. That is literally the outward appearance of what spirituality, a lot of the time, in different forms, what it looks like, because there are different forms of spirituality, obviously. So I'm generalizing at this point, but it looks different. And on the kind of exterior of it, what somebody could look at and be like, oh my god, I want to be like that person. They always have, like, they always appear to have their chakras aligned. They always have their energies good, whatever the case it is. There is illusions within the spiritual community of how you're supposed to look like being a spiritual person. And a lot of it is BS, to be completely honest with you, because it takes a lot of healing work to get in a certain place. And even when you got to certain goal levels for yourself, which I also suggest you set, once you got to certain goal levels, you will still come up with other stuff that you have to heal. Because after you've healed yourself on a spiritual level and your chakras are more flowing better and all the stuff, then you got to do the past life work. And then you have to heal past life trauma. Then you have that, like, there's always something that will make you grow on a spiritual level, and it's all to make you stronger. Therefore, the planets being in retrograde is not a time for everybody to hit me up and text me and like message me and be like, hey, I'm dying, like, what's going on? I literally have gotten so many messages about the retrogrades. This is why I'm making this video. I'm like, I'm mad I was here. I mean, I love the messages that I'm getting. It's fine, but I just wanted to address this on a larger scale, because retrogrades are not meant to be feared. Like, the reason why we study astrology, and why the Egyptians study astrology, and why we follow this kind of, we see how the planets affect us, is because we see how they affect us. Their friction, it is not supposed to, it's supposed to create spaces for healing, but we're not always supposed to be 100% happy every single time of the day. We're not always supposed to be, like, the idea and the illusion of being at a beach and just being straight happy is an illusion, because that can be had, but only for certain moments in your life. Because in the other parts, you have so much shit to heal from the other stuff that's happened in your life, from the past life stuff that's happened, from your ancestors' karma. There's like so much stuff energetically that we're carrying that we need to heal. And so when the planets create friction and they're there and just like, this is the energy now, and you're kind of like swimming in that energy, is for you to address consciously, subconsciously, your own behavior, your own energy, so you can see it. If you feel like there's something wrong, then there's something wrong, and you need to address it in whatever way that is. And that's the way you do that, is by addressing these flies and addressing them in order. Like, okay, this came up for me, how am I going to address the fact that this is coming up for me? I'm dreaming about this, whatever the case may be. How are you going to address that? How are you going to change that flow? How will you clear that blockage for yourself? These are the things that you need to do, that the retrogrades also bring. And it's a friction. It's an access to healing space. It's not, oh my God, everything's not direct, so we're all just stuck. Like, no. Okay. Through life, we may move forward because we don't have a choice to, but there are times where we need to reflect and really pull back and see where our journey is now, what lessons was still coming up, because your subconscious is such a huge tool. Pisces energy, Neptune energy, very useful tool. When Neptune is direct is when there's a lot of illusions. So right now, y'all all should just be like, I can see clearly now the rain has come. Like, it should be in your face. So if you see it and you feel it, why are you mad that you see it and you feel it? You need to address it. There is no, and this is, I feel like, what the spiritual community has done, especially the astrological community, when it comes to retrogrades. They've literally demonized it so bad that all of y'all is in fear of life, of everything. Y'all afraid to get on planes. Y'all afraid that your phones are gonna just break in half. Like, it's just, yes, some technological things will occur. That's because Mercury is the trickster god as well as the messenger god. Like, he will mess with your shit, yes, but he will also give you these downloads about areas that you need to heal from. And with all these planets being in retrograde, you're gonna get all these planets downloads about, hey, this is a fly, I'm in your face, literally in your face, like literally in your face. Like, you feel it, you see it, people acting for you, you're like, wait, why didn't I see this? But I have been seeing this before. I kind of noticed this before. You noticed it, address it. It's really that simple. Your healing work is your healing work. And ultimately, the fact that the spiritual community and the astrological community has kind of put this fear out into the community is not a good thing, and I don't agree with it at all. At all. I just don't feel like that's how astrology is supposed to even work. I mean, I have my personal beef with that, but it's really guidance. That's what it is. It's guidance of energy. That's what it is. It's planetary guidance of energy. It's telling you what the fuck is around you. You have your own, but this is how it's penetrating. It is breaking up and opening up your energy and your life so it could have some healing, so you could be stronger, because ultimately the goal is for you to be stronger. We're all out here supposed to be bosses, but the problem is that people lack discipline. They fear what they don't understand, and if you don't understand why you are feeling bad, then you need to address why you're feeling bad. It's really that simple. It's addressing yourself. Everybody literally needs to be their own therapist, and I do believe that in many forms. Some people need other people to break it down for them, which is why some people are leaders, whatever the case may be. There's levels to it. However, if you feel it, address it. That is literally the message of this video. Healing through the retrogrades. Address your flies. Address your garbage. Clean that shit up. That's what this is about. That's it. So I'm sorry if I got kind of heated. I'm a Gemini moon, so that's what happens. I will see you guys in the next video. I hope you guys have a good retrograde, and by good I mean you guys, I hope you guys heal. I hope you guys do your self-work, do your self-care, do your self-healing, self-love, do the thing. Especially because a lot of people who have not been practicing self-love, they're one of the ones that feel the worst, that get it the worst too, because you have so much healing to do. It's like you're like backtracked on healing. Like school doesn't teach you how to heal. If you became a doctor, you know how to heal physical form. Everything else is like broken up in different brackets, right? When you could address a lot of them yourself, and when you feel good, because your mind is the most powerful tool in your body. When you feel good, you can literally transform your entire energy, your entire life, your body, everything. You just have to heal. Healing work, important aspect of retrogrades. Please go watch the retrograde video. This is my biggest advice for this. I will see you guys in the next video.